After being shot 4 times, John Lennon was rushed here in a squad car to Roosevelt Hospital. He had lost nearly 80% of his blood.
The doors slam open and I kind of crane around and I look behind me.
After a motorcycle accident, New York's WABC News producer Alan Weiss was in the ER being treated for a leg injury.
2 police officers are standing over my bed and one says to the other, "Can you believe it? John Lennon." I opened up my eyes and I looked up and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, what did you say?" And the officer said, "I didn't say anything." Lennon was lying on a bed, feet facing the door where I was, no clothes on. And I just remember seeing a lot of blood, a lot of blood.
He was lifeless, had no pulse, no blood pressure, not breathing.
Dr. Stephen Lynn led his team in a feverish attempt to save John Lennon's life.
We opened the chest. We found that all of the blood vessels leaving the heart had basically been totally destroyed. I literally held John Lennon's heart in my hand. We pumped it, but it was clear that whatever we did, there was no way that we were going to be able to repair those blood vessels.
Coming down the hallway is a Asian woman on the arms of a cop, and looked like Yoko Ono to me. I realized I had to get to a phone.
Officer Tony Palma was with Yoko Ono.
My partner, Herb Fraunberger, came into the waiting room and he says, "You know, it's John Lennon we brought in." And then I looked at her and I said, "Oh man, this is Yoko Ono."
At approximately 11:10 or 11:15 that evening, John Lennon was pronounced dead.
And then Dr. Lynn had to face a wife and tell her that her husband was dead.
And I said to her, "I have bad news for you. Your husband has died in spite of all of our resuscitative efforts." Her response was strong and immediate, and it was, "No, it can't be. You're lying. Tell me it's not true. He's not dead." She was literally lying on the floor of the emergency department, then concrete, banging her head against the floor. I put my hand behind her head for fear that she, in fact, was going to injure herself.
I just picked her up and I held her and I said, "What about Sean? You know, do you want him to see this on television? What do you want to tell him, you know?" And she came out of it. And she said, "I got to get home to Sean."
After we realized that he was dead, we kind of talked about how we're going to get her out of here, without all kinds of fanfare.
Outside, the front of Roosevelt Hospital was a sea of reporters.
And I told Herbie, "You go to there was a side entrance on 58th Street. I says, "You go to that door and you wait there with her."
This photo captured Frauenberger sneaking Yoko out a back door to Palma's waiting patrol car, which then sped off to the Dakota.
When I arrived at the Dakota, there was already camera crews, people all in the street with candles.
Back in the ER, a frantic Alan Weiss was having no luck getting to a phone until he saw one of the officers who brought him to the ER that night for his injuries.
I said to him, "I got to make a phone call." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because John Lennon's been shot." And he said, "Who told you that?" I said, "Well, no one exactly told me, but I think I heard 2 officers say that." So he leaned over and he grabbed the phone from the nursing station.
After verifying Weiss's tip, ABC broke into Monday Night Football.
They called Howard Cosell. Cosell actually interrupted Frank Gifford, who was doing narration at that moment on the game, to report that John Lennon had been shot.
I mean, the word spread so fast, it was incredible.
At the 20th Precinct Squad Room, the interrogation of Chapman began.
First thing he said to us was, "Oh, I like cops. You guys are okay. I'll tell you the whole story. No bull." And I'll go, "Okay, fine."
Chapman signed this document admitting to the murder of John Lennon. But he also added, quote, he never wanted to hurt anybody.
I said to him, "Do you realize what you've done here?" And he just looked at me and said, "I killed myself. I'm John Lennon." And I just shook my head, I mean, at that point I wanted to throw him out the window.
When we return, you'll hear about a perk that John Lennon's killer receives today in prison that many find quite disturbing.